landscape of Bengal has been a history of coexistence. As we shift towards a critical phase in the battle for Bengal, over the next half hour, I'm going to analyze this minority report. Now, is it true that the Trinamool Congress and the Congress gets the en masse votes of the Muslims? Or is it that, like others, the Muslims are also looking at development and therefore they believe that Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas is indeed possible?
If you look back at the history of Bengal, you will find a mix of culture and religion which blends into local ethos. Take this Jewish synagogue in the heart of Kolkata, for instance. While there are only a handful of Jews left in the city, the synagogue symbolizes Bengal's cosmopolitan and multi-religious culture. 3 Muslims look after the synagogue, and they have been doing so through generations.
विजय के साल से हम यहाँ पर काम कर रहे हैं। मेरे नाना जी थे, नाना जी जाने के बाद तो हम आगे काम कर रहे हैं।
हमारे बाप दादा जो काम किए हैं वो बोले हैं हम लोग का जैसा मस्जिद है ये भी तुम लोग के लिए अल्लाह का घर है, इसका भी हिफाजत करना।
एक ही है, ऊपर वाला है, सब खाली नाम अलग अलग बोलते हैं।
As I come to you from the steps of this Jewish synagogue, right behind me, bhajans are being played out. The caretakers of this place are also Muslims. This best exemplifies what communal harmony is all about, till the netas and elections intervened.
From Durga Puja to Eid to Christmas, all have been celebrated in Bengal because it has never been a polarized society until the 2021 elections. Now the deep polarization is near complete. Even though Mamata Banerjee and the Congress are swinging towards Hindutva, it's the over 30% vote bank which they have their eyes on. The Muslim vote could influence the outcome in about 102 constituencies. The minority population is more than 25% in the districts of Malda, Murshidabad, North Dinajpur, South 24 Parganas, North 24 Parganas, Nadia and Birbhum. Many would say it's nothing new. But in these elections, they have become even more critical when it comes to deciding the fate of political parties. Especially the Trinamool Congress, which banks heavily on the Muslim vote. The vote bank is even more imperative because of the Hindutva awakening, which was seen in the 2019 Lok Sabha polls and helped the BJP win 18 seats in Bengal. The success of Mamata Banerjee in 2011 can also be attributed to the near-complete swing of the traditional left Muslim votes to her side, and she rewarded them for it. From giving allowances and stipends to imams, scholarships for Muslim students, reservation for Muslim OBCs, to making Urdu the second official language in districts with more than 10% Urdu-speaking population. But all this is slowly changing, largely due to 2 reasons. One, of course, is the rising Hindutva agenda, which has polarized Bengal and also forced Mamata to project herself as a devout Hindu.
Om Sarvamangala Mangalle Shive Sarvatu Sadike Sharanye Tambake Gauri Narayani Namastute.
Second, and more importantly, is the entrance of 2 players, Abbas Siddiqui and Asaduddin Owaisi. The Indian Secular Front is headed by Abbas Siddiqui of the Furfura Sharif, a sect in Hooghly with substantial followers. His clout and ambition was clear at the joint rally of ISF, Left and Congress.
आज पूरा ब्रिकेट ने देखा दिया, ऐसा मजमा कभी नहीं इतिहास में हुआ। इतना सारे भीड़ है, बाहर लाखों लोग इंतजार कर रहे हैं, घमाट में घुस नहीं सकते। तो इसी हिदायत हम लोग कह सकते हैं 2021 में बिल्कुल बंगाल में एक नया सरकार बनेंगे, जो मजबूरन सरकार होगा, एक का कोई नहीं होगा, सब गठबंधन का सरकार होगा।
Furfura is one of 5 influential sects in Bengal. And Abbas Siddiqui could sway up to 10% of votes. Many assembly seats in the Hooghly district were under TMC's grip, but now Siddiqui claims he can be kingmaker.
Mamata Banerjee, while she's quite aggressive in her attack on Owaisi, has been largely more careful when it comes to the ISF. And the reason is, for all you know, if she requires the numbers, Abbas Siddiqui could bail her out. But for now, the entry of both Owaisi and the ISF has certainly changed the mathematics for her.
অত্যাচারের যে মুখোশটা খুলে দিয়েছে ভাইজান সেইগুলো কাজে লাগবে। যে অত্যাচার করছে তৃণমূল সরকার, যে অত্যাচার করছে বাম বিজেপি, এই অত্যাচারের মুখোশটা খুলে দিয়েছে।
আজকে মমতা দিদি বলছে বাংলার মেয়ে দিদিকে চাই। বাংলার ছেলেরা বোম্বাই, দিল্লি, কেরালা, হায়দ্রাবাদে 6,000, 10,000, 15,000 টাকা মাসে বাড়ি ঘর ছেড়ে বছরকা বছর বাইরে থাকছে। মানুষ ভোট দিতেও বাড়িতে আসতে পারছে না। আর বাংলার মেয়ে কি করে দিদিকে চাই বলো তো? এত অত্যাচার, এত মানুষ কি বুঝতে পারে না?
EIMIM chief Asaduddin Owaisi has also thrown his hat in the ring, and his party is contesting on 7 seats. Mamata Banerjee has sensed the threat that both Owaisi and Siddiqui pose.
হায়দ্রাবাদ থেকে একটা বিজেপির গাই এসছে এবং ওইটা টাকা নিয়েছে বিজেপির থেকে, এবং সেটা ফুলফুলা শরীফের কেউ নয়, ওদের একটা বাচাল ছেলে আছে, সেই ছেলেটাকে নিয়ে টাকা দিয়ে সংখ্যালঘুদের ভোট ভাগ করবার চেষ্টা করছে। একটা ভোটও সংখ্যালঘু ভাগ করবেন না।
She's really frustrated, things are slipping from her hand or what, I don't know. But that statement to say vote unitedly was completely wrong, and because her government in last 10 years have not done anything substantial for the Muslims or the minorities of West Bengal.
Mamata Banerjee has reasons to make these accusations. Behind her words is the fear that a split in Muslim votes, along with the Hindutva resonance, could be a double whammy for her. She is counting on the apprehensions that Muslims may have with the growing saffron footprint. Metia Bruj, or the Mud Tower, where this Muslim-dominated area of Kolkata gets its name from, is insulated from the saffron surge. The residents and shopkeepers here are reticent, but their desire for development, instead of cliched appeasement policies, is clear.
देखिए, यहाँ सबसे बड़ी बात है रोजगार की बहुत कमी है। बहुत से नौजवान पढ़ लिख के मतलब अभी कोई काम काज नहीं।
চাকরি তো হওয়া দরকার, কিন্তু চাকরি তো হয়ই না। আজকে 10 বছর ধরে কোনো নতুন করে চাকরি হচ্ছেই না।
Metia Bruj exemplifies embracing of culture which may not have been indigenous. The mini township owes its existence to Nawab Wajid Ali Shah, who was packed off from Lucknow by the British and sent into exile here. Missing his home, the Nawab tried to recreate Lucknow, and one of his creations, which is unique to Bengal, is the Kolkata biryani, which has aloo or potato in it.
ये गरम मसाला बिरयानी आलू और गोश्त के बनते हैं, स्पेशल यही है खास।
तो कहते हैं कि मिठुआ ब्रिज में ही ये शुरुआत हुआ था।
सबसे ज्यादा बनता है, सबसे ज्यादा बनता है, बिकता भी यहीं पर सबसे ज्यादा।
Today, as Kolkata and Bengal are churning and political landscapes are changing, the descendants of Nawab Wajid Ali Shah appeal to maintaining communal harmony.
वो कहते हैं हिंदू है, वो कहते हैं मुसलमान है, वो कहते हैं शिया है, वो सुन्नी है।
Ghulam Hassan spends all his time here at the memorial of Wajid Ali Shah. He has seen better days, but remains optimistic with a word of advice.
देखिए, ना हमको ममता जी से दुश्मनी है और ना नरेंद्र मोदी साहब से। उन्हीं भी गाँव जाते बहुत कुछ किया है गरीबों के लिए, तो हमको किसी दुश्मनी नहीं है। हमको ये देखना है कि मेरा कौन रहबर है, मेरी कौन मदद कर रहा है, कौन मेरा पेट चला रहा है। कोई भी मजहब जिसको अच्छा समझेगा वो वोट देगा। इसमें ना हिंदू का सवाल होता है ना मुसलमान का।
Ghulam Hussain has raised a very pertinent point when he says that he doesn't have enmity and one should not have with any politician, because at the end of the day what really matters are the facilities that they provide. But will an acrimonious election like the Battle for Bengal be able to make this change? Will this Hindu versus Muslim divide actually change, or will it have a bearing on the fortunes of this state?
Muslims form the backbone of Bengal's economy in many ways, from the leather industry, weaving, artisanship to the hospitality sector. Shiraz is one of the oldest and best Mughlai restaurants in Kolkata. It started out as a small dhaba and has grown into a flourishing chain. The restaurant's owner, Ishtiaq Ahmed, doesn't want to get dragged into the present polarization debate. But like many in his profession, he hints that a break in harmony could affect business.
बंगाल में कल्चरल चेंजेस से मुराद है कि ये मुश्किल है थोड़ा. यहाँ के लोग थोड़ा सा बहुत अच्छे इन द सेंस में कि ये लोग अपने कल्चर को कंटिन्यू करना चाहते हैं और जो इनका कल्चर है अच्छा है और ये लोग उस पर एक स्ट्रिक्ट होते हैं कि नहीं हम इंडिया कल्चर जो है वो भाईचारगी वाला कल्चर है. यहाँ पर कोई इस तरह के कोई भेदभाव वाला नहीं है. ज़्यादातर लोग अच्छे हैं इन द सेंस के कोई भेदभाव नहीं रखते.
So are things tricky for the TMC this time around? Does the BJP stand to gain the most?
With the NRC experience in mind and the fear factor that this whole process has generated, and the BJP may not be talking of CAA, NRC in Bengal now, but they always talk of infiltrator and all that stuff. So who does it mean? It means the Muslims. So at the end of the day, they are likely to vote for the strongest candidate in their own area who will uphold Muslim interest. Maybe he's a Muslim, maybe he's not a Muslim, but of secular politics. So I would imagine, I don't really see a massive split of, a two-way, three-way split of Muslim votes happening here.
After the break, we travel to Murshidabad, which is largely seen as a Congress bastion, but where the TMC has been trying to make a huge dent into. Interestingly, this is also the area where Owaisi, ISF are also trying to make inroads which could hurt the TMC's vote bank. The BJP too is trying to make a dent here with a Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas agenda. They've also put up 8 Muslim candidates, for example, in the Murshidabad region. Murshidabad is a story of deceit and of loyalty. Now, Mamata Banerjee is hoping and counting on what she calls the loyal traditional vote bank of the Muslims, which is why in rally after rally, she keeps talking about all of them should be voting for her en masse. But unfortunately for her, there are others who are waiting in the wings who could be a game spoiler. For example, the ISF as well as Owaisi, who she's dismissed off as an agent of the BJP. But the BJP, with its card of Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas, will they become a player as well in this battle for Bengal?
आगामी निर्वाचने बीजेपी के करते होवे खाली 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 खेलबो 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 जितबो जितबो जितबो.
As the battle for Bengal gets fiercer and the Trinamool Congress banks on the Muslim vote, Murshidabad, Malda and Uttar Dinajpur become the focal points. A bulk of the Muslim population in the state comes from these 3 districts. As we enter Murshidabad, we get a sense that it's a district caught in a time warp. The Battle of Plassey Memorial and the Katra Masjid reflect its majestic past. But this white palace of Nawab Siraj-ud-Daulah is a dark reminder of a tale of deceit. Legend has it that Siraj-ud-Daulah joined hands with the French to take on the British. But his commander-in-chief, Mir Jafar, was won over by the British. At the Battle of Plassey in 1757, the British had the upper hand despite having fewer soldiers than the Nawab, because Mir Jafar was feeding them inside information. In the end, Siraj was captured and executed, and Mir Jafar became the first independent Nawab under British rule. In the present battle for Bengal, Mir Jafar has resurfaced.
ডোমজুড়ের মানুষের কাছে আমরা ক্ষমা চেয়ে নিচ্ছি এই কারণে যে একটা গদ্দার মীর জাফরকে আগের বারে আপনাদের এখানে আমরা নমিনেশন দিয়েছিলাম।
Mamata Banerjee repeatedly refers to those who quit the TMC to join the BJP as Mir Jafars.
গদ্দারদের সরকার, মীর জাফরের সরকার, তুমি মহারাজ সাধু হলে আজ আমি আর চোর বটে। চোরদের পকেট ভর্তি টাকায় চলে গেল বিজেপিতে।
Living close to the palace in Murshidabad are the descendants of Mir Jafar.
ये कान में बंदूक छोड़ दिया, कान नहीं है, उन्हें बैटल पास ही नहीं किया।
Syed Reza Ali Mirza, or Chote Nawab as he is still called, is an angry man.
देखिए, मेरे बाबा ने सरजमीन में हुकूमत किया है।
He is the 15th descendant and is upset with the chief minister referring to those who backstabbed her as Mir Jafar.
एक घर में एक मौलाना भी होता है, शराबी भी होता है, पंडित भी होता है, सब तो और मौलाना नहीं बनता है। तो मीर जाफर ने गद्दारी नहीं किया, लेकिन हर बात में हर जगह मीर जाफर को उछाला जाता है। ये दुख की बात है ना। आप पॉलिटिक्स कीजिए, आप वोट दीजिए, आप पब्लिक का दिल जीतिए, किसी की बुराई मत करिए।
His family has been loyal to the TMC, but now they are in two minds.
यही मीर जाफर खानदान आपको वोट देता है, आपको प्यार करता है, आपसे मोहब्बत करता है, हम टीएमसी करते हैं, मेरे बेटा टीएमसी में करता है, तो फिर आपका ये खाना खड़ा था ना। अब मेरे बता को अभी आगे जब मैं आपके खानदान को उंगली उठाएंगे तो आपके छोड़ के बात कीजिएगा हमको, आप भी मुझे उंगली उठाइएगा।
Mirza says calling Mir Jafar a traitor is a distortion of history. Murshidabad is also the area where the Congress makes its presence felt. It's the Lok Sabha constituency of Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. But it's a catch-22 for the Grand Old Party. It wants to take on the TMC, yet is aware that taking on Mamata fiercely could only help the BJP. Adhir is keeping Samyukta Morcha ally ISF at arm's length. He fears Abbas Siddiqui could cut into his Muslim vote bank.
I am not in a position to, amalgam both the forces here, because already one political outfit under the nomenclature of ISF, they have been having discussions with the led parties for seat sharing.
There are hardly any ISF or AIMIM flags in Murshidabad, but Mamata is clearly worried that they could eat into her Muslim vote bank. That explains her constant barbs at both parties.
একটা রাজনৈতিক দল কিছু হিন্দুদের মধ্যে যেমন উগ্র পন্থা আছে, কিছু সংখ্যালঘুদের মধ্যেও কিছু উগ্র পন্থা বেরিয়ে গেছে, এবং এরা বিজেপির কাছে টাকা নেয়, মাথায় রাখবেন। বিজেপির কাছে টাকা নেয় একটা দল আছে, হায়দ্রাবাদে তাদের বাড়ি, এখানে বাড়ি নয়।
Clearly shows she is frustrated, she is fearful of losing power, and she is not able to answer the relevant question, that is, how is it that the Muslims of Bengal have the worst human development indicators? You are in power for so many years. What have you done?
Interestingly, the BJP too has put up 8 Muslim candidates from the Murshidabad area. It's part of the party's Sabka Saath, Sabka Vikas narrative. Contesting from the Bhagwan Gola Assembly segment is Mehboob Alam, a 4-time contestant from here on the BJP ticket. This time, he feels that he can become a minister.
यहाँ पर तो हम जीत जाएंगे ना, 100% जीतेंगे। अभी तो जीतने के टाइम आ गया हमारा। মানে আমাদের মুর্শিদাবাদে আপনার ধরে রাখুন 1-2 সিট আমরা জিতছি 100%, এবং দারুণভাবে ভোটটা অর্গানাইজ করা হচ্ছে, অত্যন্ত ভালোভাবে, এবং কোনো সিটের জন্য খামতি নয়।
In the Uttar Pradesh elections, statistics show that the BJP won a substantial number of Muslim votes, especially women's votes. The party hopes that the Triple Talaq law can woo Muslim women in Bengal as well. That's not the only strategy the BJP is working on. There are about 12% Hindu refugees here who fled religious persecution in Bangladesh. They have now made Murshidabad their home.
এটা মুসলমান মেজরিটি ডিস্ট্রিক্ট, কিন্তু এখানে আমরা বসবাস করি, আর এখানকার সাইডে যে সমস্ত মুসলমানরা একদম এদের সঙ্গে ক্লোজ, আমাদের সঙ্গে ক্লোজ যারা, আমরা দেখেছি তারা যখন আমাদের সঙ্গে কথা বলে তারা যথেষ্ট রেসপেক্ট দিয়ে কথা বলে, এবং আমরাও তাদেরকে যথেষ্ট ভালোবাসি।
For them, the Citizenship Amendment Act is much needed, and it's this sentiment that could help the BJP.
ওটা হওয়া উচিত এই দেশে।
কেন?
এই দেশও না হলে এই যে ওই দেশের তাড়া খেয়ে সব লোকজন আইছে ওসব তো করা দরকার।
Not many here are impressed with the ISF and Owaisi, which is good news for Mamata and of course for Adhir Ranjan Chaudhary. For most, development is the main criteria for votes.
আমরা তো উন্নয়ন চাই, আর কিছু চাই না। যেমন উন্নয়ন করেছেন সেই হিসাবে আমরা আবার চাই যে এরকম আসুক আর এরকম উন্নয়ন করুক।
সবাইকে তো আমরা ভোট দিই, ভোটের বিনিময়ে আমরা ঘর দুয়ার আমরা এখনো কিছু পাইনি। মাটির ঘরে নোনা পড়ে যাচ্ছে, ঝরঝর করে পড়ছে, এখনো পর্যন্ত কোনো ঘর নেই আমাদের।
অবশ্যই উন্নয়ন চাই এবং যথেষ্ট দিদি যথেষ্ট এই 10 বছরে যথেষ্ট উন্নয়ন করেছে। হ্যাঁ, তবে আর একটু উন্নয়ন পিএইচের জলটা যদি আমার শহর জুড়ে হয় বা প্রত্যেক বাড়ি বাড়ি, এটা আমাদের আর হলে আরো ভালো হয়।
When Mamata Banerjee defeated the left, she aggressively wooed the Muslims, stipends, scholarships, jobs, and they stuck by her. But now things are slowly changing. She's caught in a dilemma because on one hand, she wants the traditional vote bank to be with her, but on the other hand, there is a resurgence of the Hindutva agenda as far as Bengal is concerned. And that thereby lies the opportunity which the BJP is trying to seize, and of course the other players like the ISF and the Owaisi as well. At the end of the day, when we spoke to several Muslims in this area, they said they too, like others, want the basic necessities of life. Jobs, better opportunities, infrastructure, education. Religion may not be all that much of a factor as Mamata Banerjee and other political parties are trying to make it out to be.